Hi guys, welcome to the ninth episode of Much Ado About Dota. Um, our special guest today. Oh, by the way, you might notice that Painted Gold is not here, and so in replacement of him will be Wagamama,
Yeah.
also the white guy. So he'll be our token
Oh,
white guy instead of all the
okay.
Asians we have on the show.
I'm a token.
Hi
Fine with
Waga,
that. I'm fine.
and
Thanks
of
for having
course,
me.
if you noticed, AUI doesn't have his webcam on him because he's talking through us from a phone.
Jeez.
And
Hello.
Bulba's at home right now, so he doesn't have his webcam either. But that'll round out our guests, and obviously, or our host, that is, and obviously our guest today is the founder of NEODota.com and NeoDota, and the guy who makes all of this possible, does the graphic works, and sounds and all that by himself, Spit-wad.
Hello.
Hi, Spit.
Hey. Rough
Okay, so
start here. Everyone's webcams go down, everyone's internet goes down.
yeah, Josh's Painted Gold. I mean, his internet went down, so for those of you
That's
who don't
too
know, that's
bad.
his name, Josh. Yeah, so we had to kind of get things like I had to ask Waga, who very graciously on short notice decided to come in.
Yeah. I was just about to fall asleep.
Were
It
you
was
really?
pretty horrible.
I'm so
It was
sorry,
pretty
man.
horrible. It's fine. It's fine. I don't have to get up too early tomorrow, so it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it must be nice. I know that Pulse recently just suspended, right? That was in the news.
Yeah.
So is it nice just being able
It's
to not have to like wake up for matches for a bit, take a little break?
mm, well, I need to focus on my studies right now, and that's what I've been doing. So basically, yeah, it's pretty nice to not have to schedule everything that comes with being in a center position in a team, you know? You always got to be part of scheduling and making sure everything is going accordingly, talking to admins. I'm happy about not doing that shit anymore, so I can just get some time off. But I'm hoping to come back soon.
Okay, so you do have something in the works though?
Got some things, but as for the moment, I'm just focusing on my studies. I wanna finish my what I have to do in school, and once that is done, I can start focusing full time on Dota if that's an option, or I will just keep staying in school. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. And Kurt, recently you guys actually just released just picked one up, Universe, right?
Yep.
How'd go about being formed? Was he the first option in terms of picking up a player?
Yeah, Universe is our first option. By the way, sorry if I can't hear some of your questions because my phone is sort of lagging. So,
Oh my,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
this is something we just have to deal with.
Yeah. No, Universe was like we released Snaking because he couldn't do practice, and Universe was not only like we think that he's the best available player and he can our practice schedule, so he's a perfect fit. And we actually all get along really well with him. So it's nice.
Okay. In terms of talking about school, Waga, one thing that we wanted to bring up at some point was the concept of like Dota as an actual like career. Well, at least for the time being, right? Like we're looking at it as a job. So, what do you feel like your like what your goals are in terms of what you want to do in Dota and accomplish?
Well, I'm a very competitive person. I love competing in general, so naturally being in a team and trying to win is, that's the basics. But as for what's the most stable in Dota as a career, I think being a or some form of event host is probably the most secure way, because it's very hard to rely on winning money.
So, but a
Yeah.
lot of players now receive small salaries to help offset that
Yeah,
fluctuation in cash from winnings.
it's still very little. Like, if you want to have Dota as a career in any way, I feel you should be able to put down. I mean, when you mention words like career, I think full time. And if you think about full time, then you need at least a minimum salary for whatever country you're from.
Right.
And I don't know many teams that have a salary that's the minimum wage in Sweden, at least. Not even close. So I don't know. I think esport is going the right way, but it's still, ways to go before before everyone can live off, in the pro world. Of course, that's never gonna happen, but
Yeah.
it,
Well,
it's
I don't know
very
about never. I mean,
well. Everyone will never, the entire pro scene can't be supported enough to finance it, because then the scene is gonna grow. That's how it works. But I think perhaps more people are going to make a decent living off it. Uh, Definitely think that. But right now it's pretty limited up, I would say.
yeah, I mean, not very many people right now are making a full-time wage off of both salary and tournament winnings.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
in order to make that happen, would you rather see more tournament winnings or somehow find a way for more players to have salaries and higher salaries?
Mm, well, you gotta engage the big companies and just engage more companies into streaming and making a profit by having a team or putting money into it. Even even combined efforts, having more than one sponsor, main sponsor, stuff like this. But I don't know. I think the safest way to earn money in esports is probably just streaming. Like, that's the best way. But Dota being a team game of 5 players, it's hard to have 5 players who can all support their living by streaming.
Hmm.
Sam, I know you actually took some time off school, right? For TI2? Is that correct?
I just took less classes. I didn't take off time.
I see. Is Dota at a point, or do you feel like it'll ever be at a point where you put Dota above school, or do you feel like finance just isn't secure and you do it for the competition?
I think if I'm in that case, I want to balance both. I don't want to like, go on one because I still want school to be my backup and like my degree to be a backup. I don't know. It's like at least it being a backup makes you feel safe at least, because in case okay, I'm gonna try and play Dota out, but then it's like okay, if it doesn't go well, and obviously it's hard. Like you need to like the thing about Dota right now, it's gonna become a game where like if you to rely tournament winnings, you need to do something like what LGDN did or something. Like you need to just practice every day and you need to have reliable team. And right now the Western scene isn't like that, which hopefully it will be in the future. But for now, it's kind of chaotic. I mean, some teams there's like no schedule. There's like random people just looking in the Skype chat for scrims and stuff, and it's like to base it all on tournament winnings on the West. It's really hard right now. It's especially because like first off, you can't always rely on the tournaments. Then you have these random like this random stuff happens. You can't like it's hard to just say we're gonna win this tournament and make this kind of money. It's like you can't put that as reliable. You can't like if I need this money for this tournament winning to pay for my rent. Like it's not. I don't think Dota will ever become like that, or no esport will ever become like that. So like what Waga said, you have to have a salary that's decent, and then if you want to play just purely for the money, you need to like obviously stream full time, and that's hard right now just because streaming is like a monopoly right now in Dota 2, which obviously it's going to be like that every game. The people that are more popular, the people that are streaming more are going to get more viewers than people that don't. So in the end, it's hard to have. And then Dota, since it is a 5-man game, you need to have every person committed to play and play, obviously for full time. And like
And how
it's
do you
hard.
do
Like
that? Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. It's because like look at teams. Like you have look at I'm just gonna point out like a random team like with popular streamer. Look at EG. They have one player that streams a lot, and the other four don't really stream that much. So you want their full team to do full time, but only one player is making an actual full time salary. Obviously, I don't know what Demon makes, but he's making decent money off streaming, and but like, what are the other four gonna do? It's like that's what in StarCraft 2, it's different because you can have just yourself, and you're making money for yourself, and you don't have to rely on those four other people. You know what I'm saying? It's like on the team you can't have four. All five members are not going to have a reliable source of money from streaming, from tournament winnings and all that. It's just hard, and that's the thing about Dota. It's different than StarCraft right now. So that's my entire idea on that.
So you don't think it's financially worth it to pursue a future in Dota? Like you have to do it for just like the love of the competition?
Yeah, I think for now at least that's what it is, and that's what I'm playing. I play Dota and I try and like I'm on a team and all that, and it's mainly because I love the game and I want to do well in it. And it's just like going to TI2 and meeting all those people and meeting like a company that cares so much about us and they treated us like rock stars and meeting all the people and just like being in an area where everyone just like loves the game and you're with people that like care about the game, and that's what is my motivation.
But
I don't.
but at some point, if you want to keep playing the game, the amount that you do, and if you want to maintain this lifestyle you've created, you're going to need to make enough money to do that. You need something to live on.
Yeah, that's the thing about Dota is that, like I said, you have to have that, and then going back on that previous argument of how is a person that is not as well known as another player, it's like streaming. Streaming right now is the only real reliable source of income every day in Dota, and then if you have like, it's hard for every person on a team to make that amount, and then there's some people that want to stream and like, it's just all these little factors, which is hard right now. That's what I think, and. If there's maybe a solution in the future, like obviously salary is one thing, but a salary isn't going to cover everything. So, and tournament winnings obviously is a thing, but you can't base every. It's just so many little factors and stuff. That's basically my outlook.
Waga, do you agree with everything that Sam said? Like, it's not financially worth it to pursue a goal or a future in Dota, and it's just for the competition for you?
It depends. Like, obviously, it's financially worth it for some teams. The teams that are already in the top, of course, it's worth it for them, but it's a gamble to get up there. And that's why, it's never going to be the safe way. It's never going to be the safe career to go into esports and be, a gamer. I mean, if you want safe, you stay in school, you get a good job, and then you have your job. But in esports, you can succeed, but as I really agree with the part that comparing Dota to a one-on-one game where you can be solo and you can just go full time, you know that there's nothing else holding you back. Like StarCraft 2, you can just focus on yourself, and if it goes good for you, then it's gonna go good. But in Dota, you can be big, but then the rest of your team are having trouble making an income, and then it's hard to schedule matches, and then you miss qualifying for a tournament. You can get synced by so many other things. So,
And do you think that ends up as a factor in results when teams have been together for longer and they've built more trust that everyone's going to hang around and stick to a practice schedule? Do they perform better then, like other teams maybe aren't
I
completely
don't
in it
think
100%?
necessarily. I don't think necessarily it's a good thing to have been a team for a longer time. It can also be good to have a new, fresh start because then, of course, before you create your team or before you gather, you will have talked about your goals, your ambitions, because that's what happens in the team that's been together for a long time. I was in Pulse or the same players in Pulse for, almost 3 years, me, Mini, and Rishan, for example. And while I love them, people's ambitions change throughout this time, and perhaps you're not always on top yourself, and the same for the others. What you need is 5 people who are on top at the moment and can just go full time and start winning something. Because if you don't win in Dota, then it's gonna be a hard time making any money from it.
Well, I think that consistency is always going to be an issue because, you can be at the top at one point and maybe you're making enough to live off of. But if you have a dip down later in the year and you don't perform well and you don't get those tournament winnings, then that changes your yearly income a lot. And it's tough to stay at the top of anything, much less a video game. And I mean, it's
It
it's
is.
harder than a lot of people think to maintain a passion for the game when you're playing it a lot, like 10 hours a day at least, and in practice mode, not necessarily fun mode. It doesn't count as practice if you're going into a pub and rushing Divine Rapier or something.
Yeah, I mean, everyone needs to stay, eyes on the target. You need to know what you wanna, what's your goal. You always need to have something. You need to have a goal way off in the future, but you also need a goal right now. What do we need to reach? And all these things like team dynamics and so on. People don't speak about this at all in gaming. Like in any other thing where you would be 5 people trying to accomplish something together, you would start talking and making strategies about stuff. In gaming, it's almost never like that. People just play and hope that things work out. But there's actually more to it.
I
I
have
don't
to
know.
ask, by the way, do you feel like it's a realistic goal to try to win the international? Because, I mean, it's difficult for most sponsors, right? Like that are left to sponsor things like a gaming house, and there are teams like LGD and LGD Int and IG and all those teams that can afford to like live in a gaming house, so they're obviously always going to have like an inherent advantage, right? So do you
I
feel like it's a
think
realistic goal to like try to win the international for someone in your position?
I think without a gaming house and at least 3 months or 2.5 months of time in a gaming house with all your members in the team, to have the goal of winning the international free, I think is unrealistic. Can happen, but it's so low chance. Your chances definitely increase a lot when you're spending your entire time with your team and you're, connecting more and more and just learning how everyone is thinking. Of course, you practice a lot and you can run into every type of scenario and go through it. But if you have a gaming house and access to that, then it's still realistic. I mean, IG, LGD, etc. They are awesome teams, but look at LGD Int. They haven't been around for long, but they are doing fucking awesome. And how long have they really been together as a team? It's, I mean, that
Couple
time is
months.
still,
Yeah.
yeah, there's still a lot of time till the international free compared to that. So I don't know. Like it depends on everyone's individual um, environment. If they can live in a gaming house, I think that's a huge plus. But to have the ambition to win the international without it, I think is a bit optimistic.
A lot of players wouldn't even want to live in a gaming house, though. You
I
know,
lost sound. Fuck.
you
There we
know,
go.
I mean, people. Some people it would be a dream come true to get that opportunity to go to China and live in a gaming house, or even not go to China, go to anywhere.
Yeah.
But some people don't want to uproot their lives to do something like that, especially in esports where we're just not sure if it's really financially stable right now. And so, I mean, yeah, you get your housing expenses paid for, but it's a lot of time you need to put into it. And when you move into a house just to practice with your team, that's clearly your focus in life.
Yeah. Like I think I mean some people don't want to commit to moving to a gaming house, and some people wish more than anything that they could and that they had the opportunity to commit full time and just not have to worry about the economic security and all that, because there's a lot of good players out there in the world. And I mean there's thousands of players who could be in the best team in the world if they were given the chance and tried. But it's very hard. You have to work and earn that chance. So I don't know. I think if you do move to a gaming house, it's a huge commitment. But if you wanna make a career out of this, then you're already decided that you're gonna make a huge commitment to a game. So it's scary, focusing full time on gaming, but it can be worth it. It's not doom.
I'm sorry to bring up such like a sombering topic, but that should be discussed at some point for people that, a lot of people look at SE, they see how glamorous it is, right, for like the top level players, and they don't see what it's like for the rest of the field. It's easy to say gaming's profitable because like Destiny or Sing make a good living off it, but they represent such a small minority of players that can make a living off the game itself, and like to have like stable financial situation. But
Well,
Yeah.
so have you?
I think Wagga really hit on the head there that it is a huge risk to go completely into gaming, and the people who are successful are the ones who are in it 100%. And that's a big risk because we're not only acting as entrepreneurs in this industry, but players and casters and everyone else are pioneers of a brand new industry. And that's a huge risk to take. And hundreds, even thousands of people are putting in a lot of time and energy and their own money to try to make it work. And
Yeah.
I mean, it is working
I
out for
mean,
some
some
people,
most
but
people. I mean, when it comes to gaming, most people who actually make it work come from the nature of being students or being early in their years of school, you know? And they have a lot of free time. This free time they invest, they try, and then they can get somewhere with it. But when you're already that when you're up to at university level or whatever, and you're at the career choice kind of situation, then you start realizing that all that time that you could invest as a youngster, it's it's a big commitment already. But to do it and for anyone is, it's a big choice. So I don't know. I think that the people that are into it and make a living off it, by being committed 100%, they started out as like, okay, I'll just try and oh, it's going good, and suddenly they are hooked. But a lot of people just play and nothing really happens with it.
and the college, the fact that people start playing a lot during college or start trying to go pro during college probably plays a big role there because most people, uh, still have some kind of family support while they're in college, but they have that extra time when they're not in classes, when they, probably should be studying, but they game instead. And that creates a large amount of time that they can devote to it. But after college, um, most people have to make a decision if they want to keep going with it or not.
Yeah.
And as far as that's concerned, we might not have really seen enough to see how long careers can last in esports. Um,
Yeah, we still, haven't seen too long in esports. I mean, it hasn't been around for more than just over, I mean, for real, over a decade. If you look back at StarCraft 1 and so on, which was, I would say, the first really serious, I mean, Counter-Strike, of course, as well, but it's uh, it's hard to tell what happens after the game. Of
mhm.
course, people can turn out to become event hosts or commentators or whatever, but it's still the risky path
Right,
in many ways.
right. And so in other sports, most players when they retire, there's nothing for them to do. There aren't that many post-career jobs like being an announcer or an analyst or a coach or some kind of job related to the game. And we're definitely going to run into issues like that for people who actually do dedicate their lives to esports, and then they're for whatever reason they don't want to play anymore. Their skill kind of
Mm,
evaporates. Most people are going to be left jobless there, and
yeah,
that needs to be taken into account when you're talking about how much money you're making every year too. Because
exactly.
sports players are making a lot of money, but if their careers are only 5 years long, um, and what are they
It
going to do?
needs to
What are
be
they going to
more.
do after their sports career, right? So if people are dropping out of college uh, to do esports, then that's fine, but we need to consider that. And there are other
Exactly.
issues that are going to come up down the road, 5 or 10 years down the road, that we just don't know what they're going to be. We might all have carpal tunnel by then. We might all have
Yeah,
vision problems from staring at our
exactly.
screens so much.
No, but I would say the big thing that you have is you gotta play it out towards your other options. And if you're from Sweden, for example, getting anywhere really, I mean, I can only speak for Sweden because I live here and I know how it's like here. I know it's the same in many parts of the world, but if you're from Sweden, if you don't have an education, you're pretty much relying on your contacts, someone getting you a job. And if you're just going into your gaming without having a good job education, then you need to be sure that you can go back to school and have that secured, that you're not shunned away from that option. Um, or you need to be 100% committed and know that it's worth it. As you say, sportsmen, perhaps they have a shorter career, then they need to have a higher salary. Same thing goes for esports. If it's going to be
Hmm.
effective, you know, we won't see people who do esports for 3 decades or something like that. I don't think that's ever going to happen, or at least no time soon.
So if you could do it all again, what way would you do it? would you start doing esports earlier and devote everything to it, or would you still focus on school, or not even go into esports at all?
That's such a hard question. It's like there's like so many. I don't know. I mean, everyone has regrets, and if you just live by regrets, you're not gonna get. It's not gonna be like
You have
worth
regrets,
remembering.
Sam?
I mean, about some stuff I have regrets, but
Tell
like
me a
Leaving
regret of
is
yours.
go-to.
no, it's not. It's just about regrets about playing and comparing it to college. I mean, everyone has those regrets. You hear, you can make a thread on some gaming forum that, what are your biggest regrets? Oh, I wish I play. I mean, I wish I played less. I wish I focused. It's like some cliche thing, but everyone has that. So gamers are gonna have that too. It's like, what would my life be right now if I didn't play Dota this much? Like, what would I be doing? So the thing is, if you actually play competitive, you can't constantly think about that because that just gets in the way, and you need to focus on your goal. It's like the thing about school is I don't think you really have to drop out of school. At least right now, in most of the American universities and stuff, you can put it on hold and you can come back at any time. And it's like it doesn't have to be just about prize winnings or winning stuff. Like, but it's about like one thing I think teams are doing well right now, at least in Dota, is the media presence. I mean, me being on Liquid, like I hear every day about like Nazgo's like it's gonna be better for you in the future. Just come on, like try be like more open to your fans and stuff. And I've never been one person like shy away. I enjoy talking about Dota and stuff. So and personally for me, my main motivation right now is just to go to TI3. And like Waga said, there's like that one big thing you're really motivated for, and most of the teams are motivated for going to that event. It's like how you're gonna do is like it depends. There's so many factors, but for now, it's not all about the money. At least for me, and I just want to go to TI3, and I wanted to see how it goes again. Like I want to see how it goes, and I'm having so much fun playing, and like this is my passion. So that's my main thing, and I think most people that play have that same kind of ideal.
Okay, so I have to ask though. I know Waga, you and Sam have both tried at least casting, right? Your hand at casting.
Yeah.
If like that opportunity occurred, would you guys be willing to like switch the kind of place you're at instead of being a player? Would you ever consider going into full-time casting? Because I know casting in general is more it's more stable of a future, right? Has that ever crossed your mind before?
It's crossed my mind, and I've gotten some pretty positive feedback for my casting, so I've considered it and what it's like. But to go into casting, you have to think about it as well. For you got into this world because of gaming. You like to compete. You like to game. I'm a very competitive person in whatever I do. As a caster, you don't really experience that part of the game. You're gonna have a lot of sure, and I enjoy casting, but to accept the option of being a caster, it needs to be very solid. It needs to give you the full economic security and just know that you don't have to worry about anything. Just enjoy the game, cast games, and then play some in your free time. That would be okay, but it would be giving up on the dream of being in a team and competing. And that's a big choice.
You'll always miss playing.
Yeah, you're gonna do that. And out there you have guys like Gods, for example, who used to play for N9 and was in a good team, and then he chose to become a caster, and it's working out great for him, of course. But it was a big choice for him.
There are also very few casters that it works out great for, and as few players that are making it, there are more players that are making it than casters right now. So it's probably even more competitive to try to go that direction.
Aaron, you run the business side of NeoDota. Do you like? Is this something that you'd want to pursue to try to make a career? Like, do you feel like NeoDota has financial viability to it at all?
I do, and I already have. I graduated from college last spring, and I've been doing this full time since then. And yeah, I mean, it's different than how players and casters have it, but it's just as scary.
I think the good thing is that everyone here, I know Sam, you're in med school, right? And you already have your bachelor's and
Med school? No, I'm in undergrad. What?
oh, you're an undergrad? I thought you graduated already.
No,
Oh, he
I'm.
just lost so much respect for you, Sam.
What are you talking about? I'm like fourth year right now.
Are you really? I thought you were done. I was like almost certain
What?
you were.
I'm not done.
Okay,
I'm trying to-
regardless, you're finishing school from a good university. I'm done with school. Kurt's currently going. Aaron's graduated, and Waga, you're in the process of finishing as well, right?
Well, finishing, I recently started on information systems, so it's only been the first semester or so far, meaning I have 2.5 years to go. But, you know,
Okay, well, regardless, at least it seems like for most competitive players, like they're either in school or considering going to school or have graduated.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing at the very least.
yeah,
All
that's for
right.
sure.
Thank you, by the way, for being willing to talk about this. I know it's a bit hard-hitting for a program, especially since you're about to go to sleep.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yep. But on a lighter note, the G League is just about wrapped up. We almost have our finals on hand, right? LGD is actually up 2-0 on
What?
or no, LGD is down 2-0. Sorry, to IG is what I meant to
No,
say.
they lost. They lost.
Oh, it's completely. I thought they were gonna play one of the games after.
They played today and they lost.
Okay. Well, they lost. I assume they would, but they were down 3-0. And so now it's IG versus LGD International in the finals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Waga, like you're friends with Misery and Pika, right? Or you're at least
Yeah.
friends.
Well, I
You
used to
guys
be in the
are
same
close.
team as
Yeah,
Misery,
you guys are
so
Swedish.
we're good. Well,
That
he's
counts.
Danish.
What is this? Was that a mom?
Dude!
Uh,
Uh,
jeez. You muted on purpose there?
Oh God.
Oh shit! I muted as well because I had to talk to her really fast.
Yeah.
I said I'm not exposing my mom to the internet, so when she walks by again, you'll see my hand again. But anyways, Waga, how do
yeah.
you feel about LGD Int as a team, and do you feel like winning the G League over a team like IG is realistic for them?
For,
For LGD Int, like how highly do you value their chances?
I haven't been watching too much the last 3 weeks as I have been studying so much, so I must say I'm not an expert right now on that, but they have all the right environments to just learn and be really good. So I've seen them play some and I've been really impressed. I think they have decent chances, but it's still, it's not going to be easy.
The answer
But
to
I
your
wish
question
them-
is yes. How can
I
anyone,
wish
how
them
can
the
anyone
best.
say no? They're so good. They've been performing so well. They're I mean, I think it's very clear to say right now that they're at least the number 2 team over there. We're gonna see if they can beat IG, but
Yeah.
they've been a
Well,
team for
that's
only
the
a
big
few
one,
months and they're doing so well.
IG and LGD, and that's going to be the big. I haven't seen those two teams play each other in a tournament yet,
Right.
and I think that's going to be a tough one for LGD and still, because IG they do have a lot of experience, and LGD and playing awesome from what I have seen. It's still another obstacle to pass, for them.
Their play just looks so stable and calculated. It's not like
Yeah, definitely.
I don't get that honeymoon kind of feel from them where they're just kind of riding off of knowing how to play against them. They're doing really solid strats and they're pulling them off.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely serious. That's pretty easy to tell when you watch them.
Oh, on a side note, by the way, they're all coming back. Like they're going back for Chinese New Year. If anybody's in
Yeah.
San Diego on the 20th, you'll see Brax at the UCSD Winter Game Fest. So if you're in Southern California, come say hello to us. But aside from that, Sam, who do you favor in terms of an IG LGD international matchup, taking into consideration the break that'll be in between the finals?
I wrote a bunch about this on the Liquid forums actually, and I think the teams that LG didn't have played so far, no one's like adapted to them I don't know. Like, they play this one style. If you watch every game, it's literally the exact same style. And I'm not taking away from them. It's just, it's like Tongfu didn't. They play what Tongfu in the semifinals. Tongfu didn't do anything at all versus it.
Hmm.
Like they played the same exact stuff every three. You can watch every game. It's literally like they play the exact same style. And LGD is like a team right now that they have like the style where they have the roaming supports and then they pick a really strong carry for Pycat on the safe lane, and then if they throw Brax on some kind of mid-game scaling here, Darkseer, Nakes, etc. And it's like Tongfu every game they just sent Veronic on some really shitty one-on-one hero of Pycat, and Pycat just got like snowball game like his SF snowball, this Syllabear snowball versus Windrunner. I forgot the last match. I don't know. It was like there's so many games I've watched. I think IG they're one of the teams that are gonna like adapt, and I don't know if it's Kongfu, it's because they don't have enough time or they just didn't pick well or play, but I don't know. And I think LGD China had the same kind of thing, but they obviously didn't get to play LGD, and so they didn't really get to show their adaptation. So obviously LGD like they look really strong in the group stages, and then they look they looked somewhat weak versus DK when they lost, and versus Tongfu they looked amazing, and that's partly I think because of Tongfu's play style, and I don't know, they didn't adapt. Obviously, I said that already, but I I think IG isn't gonna send some stupid hero top versus Pycat to get crushed like a Furion or whatever. They're not gonna send something. They're not gonna play, and they're not gonna keep picking mid heroes that just get roamed on. Like Tongfu, they picked a Syllabear in one of the games, and
Hmm.
the other team had a Shadow Demon and a Chen. So when you put Syllabear and you put it mid, and then the other team is a Darkseer mid, and you already know LGD is gonna gank. And I think actually I read on the Team Liquid forums that Tongfu's manager actually told him before the game like, be careful about mid, you're gonna get roamed on. And then they still send an easy hero like Syllabear to get ganked mid. How like fed like 3 times mid or something. And then the second game they send a Brewmaster mid which who got crushed on the like I don't know. I don't think IG is obviously gonna fall into this kind of trap. So
So what's an
I,
The thing
example? What's an
is,
example of what you want to put mid against them?
like a queen. So I know IG loves running this hero. Something that doesn't die, and even a TA like a TA is obviously weak, but he's not a hero that dies. And the reason that Moo got crushed that game is not 'cause he died early on. It's because his courier got sniped, which is actually pretty sick. But it's like these kind of things. I just think IG's a team that adapts. I don't think they're gonna pick some Rubik Kodal safe lane and then Nakes and not do anything with it and then not gank or do anything. I don't know. I just felt they didn't do anything. Obviously, Tongfu is a really good team. They're like Brax was saying like they're obviously one of the top teams in China, but I think the way they played and Brax told me this as well. They did not play well and they did not adapt at all. They kept sending Veronica on some hero on the off lane and he got crushed every game. Just getting crushed and crushed, and Pycat got so much like every game Pycat snowballed with some hero, and then they just like Spit-wad said, they have like really good strategies. Like they know when to rotate their heroes. Like they know when to say, we're gonna go top, or we're gonna push this tower with Luna, we're gonna push this tower with Darkseer and Chen, and it's
I
really like
think
nice.
I think the thing with LGD Int, I would compare it a little bit to prior to International 2. If you look at how MTW were playing like 3 months before it, during the qualifiers and so on, because they have a strategy right now that works really well. As you're saying, they're not playing a lot of crazy stuff. And Spit-wad, you agree as well. It looks calculated. They are doing something with good intention. They have planned all this, but they're not really changing too often. So they've basically found something that works really well against everyone around them right now. But people will always adapt sooner or later. We saw MTW have a great run in the European scene where they basically just crushed everyone right then. And later on, they kind of faded away because they kept playing their same style while people learned to adapt to it. So I think same thing might happen to LGD if they don't have another trick up their sleeve. And as you say, IG are a team of many strengths, they can adapt to it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like LGDN's strength is when there aren't actually big fights. You know, they'll have complete control of a game, and they'll dictate the flow of it, and they'll still trade 3-3 in a big fight. But when they're not fighting, they clearly know what they're doing. They're going around placing wards where they want them. They're all positioning for the right overall strategy. They have a goal in mind for the entire game, and when the action's actually happening, Brex is really good at vacuuming, but it seems like during the down moments of the game is when they're really gaining their leads.
Yeah, I'm really liking that courier snipe thing that 1437 did the other day. Like when he smoked and then he just waited on top of the hill.
When
that
did
was
he do it? Like at
It
the
was
start of the
versus
game?
Tong Fu. Yeah, it was like TA. You know exactly if it's a TA mid or whatever, like a bottle coring hero mid. And then he
So
killed it.
it's the exact strategy I posted on Reddit like a couple months ago.
Oh, aren't you the
I posted a
one?
video of me in a pub just
You won.
hanging
Alright,
between the
Liquid
towers
Bulba.
at like a minute 45 waiting for the bottle to come. I
Spit,
invented
don't
that
lie.
Bulba.
I told you to do that. You copied.
What? Are you kidding me?
I told you to do that, bro.
Oh my god.
That's the Spit-wad
But
courier snipe.
but one thing I have to say, like IG, like they're looking like on a different league than all these teams. I don't know. Like their games versus LGD, it was like a stomp. And I think LGD China is one of those teams that they're like really consistent. They like play the same style over and over, and obviously everyone says that, but it's true. Like you can even see in those games, it was basically the same style over, and they're a team that thrives on consistency. While IG is a team that just loves like chaos and just random stuff happening, and they're gonna force these little fights. And I know that LGD and actually kind of like took the strategy with the Luna 5-man pushing from IG. Like IG did love doing that earlier on, and like in clan wars and stuff. So it's gonna be interesting. And I think I know IG is gonna like. I think this game is a lot on PyCat. If LGD and if they play their normal style, if he has to do well in a solo lane, and if he does well, I think they can. Decent. But he's obviously gonna play like playing best player he's played so far, like YOF. So
So how do you beat them?
I think I don't know. This roaming style. I wish none of the teams so far actually have shown any aggression with their supports. Like Tongfu, every game it was like a dual core of supports that didn't have that many disables or counter initiate. Like one game they picked a witch doctor, and the witch doctor basically fed, and they didn't really do anything with the witch doctor. The second game they picked a Rubik and a Kotal, and both these heroes don't have that much kill potential counter initiate. So the Demon and Chen were just going around crushing everything. So it's hard to say right now, like based on what happened, but IG is one team that they're gonna like do well in their lanes, and they're gonna, I think, like they're gonna rely on obviously mid lane and off. If LGD and pushes, they're not gonna send YOF on some Furion or something on the off lane. They're gonna send him in like a strong hero.
Did you
So
say
and they're a team that's not afraid to like try stuff out.
Did you say already who you think's gonna win?
Obviously, I think IG is gonna win, but I don't know. I mean, this whole break thing might. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna
actually
tell
how that
Brax
affects-
you said that.
Brax admits that. Like Brax knows that though. Like I've watched them clan war and stuff for his IG, and some of the games they do decent, some games are not pretty. So that's all.
Sam, did you so anyways, I'll bring this up really quick. Cause every time I talk about IG, I remember you against Ferrari Mid in at the international where you played against his TA.
Well,
with
every
Joker.
time I remember you, I'm gonna think about that.
Oh my God,
Joseph
Joseph! No, that didn't happen.
it's through the game. That's on a hill and it gets vacuumed. It has no TP and it's completely useless.
I got to say hi, hello, jungle friends, though. But anyways, Sam, did you see in the NEODota 2012 awards most embarrassing community moment? Bulba versus Ferrari. I actually just voted in that right now for you, Sam.
Level
So-
4.
Sam's nominated in a few categories. He's nominated for best mid.
Let's track level 4. Let's track level 4.
And then Sam's also the best singer of all time. But anyways, sorry by the way, guys, to everyone that's watching for the fact that the show was late and the fact that well, Painted Gold couldn't be on it because he had internet issues and sorry, I'm having trouble still laughing.
And Kurt dropped here.
Yeah, and Kurt, if you noticed, is not here because he was using Skype on his phone and I think his phone broke. But
All right, something else I want to
Ran
talk
out of
about
battery.
with G League. This DotaTV ticket, it's not been working, and people are clearly getting frustrated with it. You know, the the streams are not that bad. You know, I'm fine with turning on Beyond the Summit or join Dota once in a while. But what do you think about the fans paying for this $10 ticket? And it hasn't been working lately. Sometimes the replays aren't even available.
Well, it really shouldn't happen. I think it's really bad that something that you pay $10 for doesn't work. And, it's not something that you pay for and then they can fix it a month later. They need to be quick at responding with this.
Hmm.
I did not purchase it myself, so I'm not having any troubles with it, but it really, it's a great way for a community to chip in and show their support. But then if they get nothing back for it, that's a bad way to shoot the community in the neck.
Yeah.
It's really important that it works.
I mean, some people have been suggesting that Valve refund everyone who bought a ticket. It's the extreme resolution to it, but do you think that's warranted?
I mean, if they don't get it working before a certain point, then it should be warranted. But I don't know.
So let's go back to our financial discussion and follow the money here. So if they were to refund it, then what happens to G League? Because Valve's paying out a percentage of the ticket earnings
Exactly.
to the league, and so it's not G League's fault that the DotaTV ticket doesn't work.
Yeah.
Wait, is it the actual like watching the game or the replays?
It's both. Watching
I
the
thought
game.
they fixed the replays because
They might have
fixed
they
the
might have fixed the
they fixed the
replays.
code.
I know that some of the replays weren't available before. That might be
Yeah,
fixed
now
now.
like the
but-
last patch is like error or something every time you tried watching replay, but now
Yeah.
it's fixed. So.
Okay. All right. Well, still, the live games. Every time I try to watch a live game, it hasn't been working. It was working fine at the start of the group stage.
Huh.
But
Yeah. I don't know. It's sad that it happens. The worst part, of course, is when you miss live games that you paid for to watch in games. But as you said, there's always good streams that cover this event as well. I guess that's the only upside to it. But yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted right now, but I think because of our clear technical issues and stuff, that'll do it for us. Sorry, guys. I believe we'll be on next week. Thank you very much, Waga, for being on at such
No problem, Blitz.
short notice. He was actually here, guys, like a minute before we started, so big ups to him. Also,
It was nice to be here.
and also, thank you, by the way. And people can follow you at Waga Gaming, right? And is there anything
Yeah.
else you'd like to plug or give a shout out to?
Yeah, Stream Dog Flip. She got Twitter, man. Gotta follow it.
I have no idea what that is, but
yeah, what?
It's my stream dog. You gotta follow it. So be at Stream Dog Flip.
Okay. People follow that. For Kurt, he's not here, so I'll plug Dignitas from QPad, Antic, Alienware, and all the rest.
Oh,
Look
you
at
know
that,
his
I've got it down,
sponsors?
Kurt. And his Twitter is at AUI_2000. And of course we have Bulba, the lovely brown curry sore, who Sam,
Great.
Ellie Golding. So, what do you want to say?
Shout out to my Twitter at BulbaDota, and shout out to my team and my sponsors Bear, Razer, and Twitch, and my dad.
One of these days, I'm gonna convince you to get your dad on the show. By the way, at least for like 5 minutes.
Wait,
That's
is
like
the show
my
over?
life goal. Kurt, hold on.
Nice timing, bro.
I plugged QPad, Alienware, and
Is the
I
show
haven't-
over?
Well,
No,
I mean,
no,
you
we're
finally decided to show up, so it's just starting,
going.
right? We wait for you. This show doesn't start till Kurt's here.
Oh wait, myself at Blitz_Dota, and Bulba's is Liquid Bulba, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Kurt, since we'll just act like you're
Oh my god. All
do you want to give any shoutouts or plugs?
right.
I don't think I deserve it this week. Sorry, everyone. My phone sort of exploded and my Skype app died.
Wait, I got
and
Antic,
find-
Alien, QPad, and the rest. That's what I said.
Antic, Intel, Alienware, and the rest.
I was close
Intel,
enough.
was close.
Thank you, for being on the show. And you can follow him at AUI_2000. And he also streams at twitch.tv/AUI_2000. Waga, you also have a stream too, right?
Yeah, Twitch, Wagamama TV.
And Bulba just started his at twitch.tv/LiquidBulba. Mine is at twitch.tv/BlitzDota. Thank you all for coming and watching. We'll be on the next time. I have no idea who our next guest is. Probably another European to make up for the fail we had this time. But thank you so much to Waga for joining. Shout out to NEODota and NEODota.com. You can follow all of our stuff at so Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at /NEODota2, right?
Correct.
And information podcast will be posted on NEODota.com. Thank you.